According to Procon on March 10, 2016, of the 190 countries, 61% have a drinking age of 18 or 19 years old. Why do you think this is the case? Is it maybe because at 18, we are considered adults who can vote for the leader of our country, fight in the military, get married, and buy tobacco products? Not only that, but countries with lower drinking ages have fewer alcohol-related traffic accidents. So what is keeping our country from lowering the legal drinking age to 18 when we are considered mature enough to handle so many other things as a so-called adult? In the United States, we are allowed to go into the military and fight the day we turn 18. And many people do. We live in an amazing country that so many people feel so passionately about that they go out and put their lives on the line for it. But in the United States, we are also not allowed to consume alcohol at that very same age. Some people think that allowing 18-year-olds to drink is dangerous and they aren't mature enough to properly handle it. But the same people probably think that fighting in war is dangerous and that we need to be mature enough to handle risking our lives. According to Jessica Pauline in Los Angeles Times on May 30, 2011, in Alaska, a bill was recently introduced that will allow members of the military to drink at the age of 18 with the rationale that if they're old enough to fight and die for their country, they're old enough to have a beer. At the age of 18, we are also considered old enough to vote for the person who will run our country for at least the next 4 years. Many people take voting for granted, but it is actually a lot of power. We are given the right to choose how we want the country to be ran by choosing the person who we agree with most. Every vote matters. So by allowing 18-year-olds to vote, most people must think that we are mature enough to handle that kind of decision. So why are we mature enough to vote for the leader of our country at 18, but not mature enough to consume alcohol? According to Samantha Cotton, writing in Reflector on September 24, 2008, suddenly 18-year-olds around the world are able to vote in elections. However, in the United States, 18 has become merely a stepping stone to the ever-so-mystical age of 21. We are old and mature enough to make big decisions like fight in the war or vote for the president of our country, but not enough to drink alcohol at the age of 18. At that very same age, we are allowed to buy cigarettes and other tobacco products, which have been proven to give people multiple health issues. So we are allowed to purchase products that harm our health, but we aren't allowed to buy a beer every now and then that won't hurt us in any way. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, writing in Be Tobacco Free accessed on December 7, 2016, more than 20 million Americans have died because of smoking since 1964, including approximately 2.5 million deaths due to secondhand smoke. It also says that smokeless tobacco contains 28 cancer-causing agents. Multiple studies show how dangerous tobacco products are, but the law says that we can buy them the day we turn 18. We just can't drink alcohol that doesn't cause more than 20 million deaths or contain 28 cancer-causing agents. What else can we do at the magical age of 18? We can get married. According to Mercury News, writing in The Mercury News on May 18, 2011, I'm not advocating a lower drinking age for my own pleasure. It's just the logical thing to do. What seems illogical is this. I can make the life-changing decision at 18 to get married, but I can't order a beer in a bar. Marriage is a big decision, because not only are you choosing who you spend the rest of your life with, but it is a legal contract, which means that you become liable for certain family expenses, sharing income, and sharing property with your spouse. The law allows us to take on the responsibilities of marriage when we turn 18, but not the few that come with being able to have a drink. In the United States, we aren't allowed to buy or consume alcohol until we reach the age of 18. But many other countries have a legal drinking age of 18 or even younger. According to medical articles and infographics writing in Human Research Funding, on January 3, 2015, there are fewer drunk driving traffic accidents and fatalities in many countries with a with a minimum drinking age of 18. It also says, as the statistics will show, lowering the drinking age isn't as problematic as many might claim it to be. Other countries understand that at 18, we can handle drinking just like we can handle going into the military. If we are allowed to drink at 18, when many people are living with their parents, then maybe the parents can show us how to properly handle alcohol before we go out in the world on our own. When we're in college, we have nobody to show us the way or how to handle alcohol without doing things that we might regret. When we turn 18, we are considered adults. We are considered adults. Adults that can vote. When we turn 18, we are considered adults. Adults that can vote, get married, fight in the military, buy tobacco products, but we aren't allowed to drink, unlike most other countries. According to Mercury News, writing in The Mercury News on May 18, 2011, at 18, we deserve the right to truly be full-fledged adults that make our own decisions. We should be able to choose what we do with our bodies internally and externally. We do not need the law to baby us any longer.